End of this video, you'll be making this. Alright guys, we are ready to go. Now what you need to do here inside Blender, you just need to click here in this cube and then delete this one, go to this plus icon and visual effects and then go to motion tracking. It's time to find your footage, so go click in open and just, if you want to follow along, of course I am gonna leave this link available down in the description. Select this one, sorry about this photo, oh my gosh. Click in open clip and then now we have it. So if we just click in space here, we can see that it's working properly. So I'm going to the very beginning here and then I'm gonna click in set scene frames. All right, and then now I'm gonna click in prefetch just to give information to Blender, so now Blender can work properly. And here what I'm gonna do in marker, I'm gonna click in detect features. So now as you can see, I have some track points on my video, so they're not working yet just because I didn't track the footage. So what I'm gonna do to do it, I'm gonna go to match and then in keyframe I'm gonna select previous frame and then click in normalize, and in track setting extra I can do something here, but this is not the case. I can just adjust the correlation to 0.8. I think this is cool for our goal here. So we are ready to go. What we need to do, we just need to click in this icon here, track marker. So as you can see, we have a few trackers in our scene, so that's exactly what we are looking for, but a few of them we need to delete. So that's exactly what we are going to do now. So I can just go at the very end of this footage here and then press Command Shift if you're using iMac or Control Shift T in order to track backwards. Alright guys, so next thing we are going to do, basically we are going to delete all of these curves here that we don't need manually. So we are going to select them all and then press X, and because these curves here are the trackers that are placing at the very beginning of my shot. So I'm gonna delete them all, because sometimes I need to handle with them, separately. So this is really cool if you are starting out in visual effects in Blender or in general, you need to be accurate. So that's exactly what we need to do here. So yeah, we have a few here, so we can get rid of them because we need these trackers at the very middle of our footage. So I'm gonna just get rid of them all. I'm gonna select them here and press delete to delete and just clean this up because we need to solve error again. So if we give a cleaner information to Blender, it's going to be easier. Do you agree with me? Alright, so we have something here. These yellow dots are working properly and that's exactly what we are looking for. I am going to do something different. So I'm going to press here in keyframe previous time. I didn't select before, that's my fault. So I am going to solve, and then in solve I'm gonna select in keyframe B 100 as my value, because a few of these trackers here, they are working until 100 frames per second, so I want to get rid of them. So I'm gonna just refine them all here, and then I am going to click in clean tracks, and in clean tracks I can just play around with this reprojection error. So I just need to be careful to do not delete a few trackers that I want to work on. And then I'm gonna click in solve camera motion, and as you can see we have on solve error around 0.39 because we already worked with some, we already deleted some trackers. So as you can see, we have this result here. So what we are going to do now, we basically need to select 3 trackers to give the information to Blender that we want to represent our floor. So we need to select these 3 trackers here, and then I'm gonna click in floor. So as you can see, Blender understand the information that we want to give to it, right? Go to scene setup and then open this tab over here in solve, and then you see that you have set as background and setup tracking scene. Now as you can see, Blender understands that the mesh you have in your 3D viewport you want to connect with your footage. So this is exactly what we are looking for, and what we are going to do, we're going to delete this cube here, and in this case we are going to layout now, and then as you can see, the ground is not as accurate as I want because we have a few curves. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to select the plane, hit tab. Of course, if you press tab, you are going to edit mode with me, and I'm going to click with the right button using my mouse, and then I'm going to click in subdivide, go to this tab here, subdivide, and then increase this number to 20. I think it works well. It can be 10. Let's test this with the value of 10. So I'm going to select one of this part here, and I'm going to just, hide this just to see how is my plan. So I'm going to just select this one at the very end here, and I am going to turn on my proportional editing, and then as you can see, I can just scroll my mouse a little bit just to make this ground more accurate, and just try to copy the footage ground. So is pretty cool. Just invest your time. Again, it's your project. So as you can see now, we are having a better information here. So I'm going to select this one, and it's pretty cool if I just play my video here. As you can see, it's working properly. So if you go to rendered view and you see this mistake here, don't be afraid. Just go to rendered tab and then select transparent in film here, right? So all right, Alder, but I'm still seeing my background here. What can I do? I'm gonna select my camera here, and then in background image I am going to opacity, and then just turn this value into 1,000. All right guys, basically we are done with this ground after working a little bit, just selecting a few edges and adjusting them. What you are going to do right now, you just need to go to rendered view, and you see that you have applied. If you didn't do it, you gotta do it right now. Go to material properties and then apply one new material here. So as you can see, my material is already working with my world properties because I add one 8DR image here. So I'm gonna do it again just so you all see. So just go to world properties, go to open, click in open, and then find this HDR. I'm gonna leave available to you down in the description. So this one here, I'm gonna click in open clip. So as you can see, it's already interacting with my ground. Now, what we need to do to really, create this VFX shot and make this really realistic, we just need to go and append one blend file, which I'm gonna leave available in the description for you. So just go to file and go to append, and then just find your blend file. In my case, I already imported. I have this here. So I'm gonna just unhide them. As you can see, what we are going to do, we are going to select this plane here, go to object properties, and then in visibility, we are going to turn on this option, shadow catcher. And as you can see now, this plane turned into one PNG, one transparent ground, just because we have actually selected this option here. So now as you can see, we have our shadow interacting with our ground, and this is really nice. This is the best part actually. All right guys, so we have our VFX shot, but now we need to go to compositing and then delete all of these 3 nodes here. So I'm gonna select them all, press X, and then I'm gonna plug this image into image, select this render and delete this one. And if you want to make it more realistic, you can just press Shift A and search for blur, and then you can just plug blur into here. And just to see what you were doing, you can go to render and just render the image, right? So you see what your result looks like. So in this case, what I'm gonna do, I'm going to apply one color hue saturation value before it. All right guys, so basically here you just need to, you know, play around if you already have some experience. If you don't have any experience, you can just render this video and import into After Effects, so you can just play around with color grading and stuff like that. So I'm gonna leave hue saturation out of this render, and I'm gonna just plug render image into image. And in layout, I'm gonna just adjust my render properties. In my case, I'm gonna just set this max samples in 128, and in max samples here, I'm gonna leave this just like so, and I'm gonna select cycles. You can just select GPU if you have one, and in my case, in color management, I can just go to Filmic, or in this case, we can just work with standard. Right? In this case, in HDR image, if you want to play around, you can go in this tab here and then go to shader editor, and in world you can just, you know, apply these nodes here, because you can use one native add-on from Blender. So you can just go to edit here, go to preference. In add-ons you can search for node Wrangler. In my case I already have it, so to make it more realistic, you can just delete them and just press X. And then in this case, I'm gonna add them again. I'm gonna press Ctrl T, and now I can, as you can see, I can just rotate my HDR image and, you know, have fun with my lighting. All right guys, so that's it for this tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed